My name's David Pimentel. I live at 123 North Hayes Street at the corner of Hayes and A. I am an active cyclist. I bicycle to work. My children bicycle to and from school every day. We take 3rd Street because 3rd Street is the street that's graded and is the other options are so much steeper that quite regardless of the lovely greenway that was mapped out, it's so much more circuitous, and we've got to get to work and school, and so we take 3rd Street. I know that Plan C presents some challenges. There will be issues. We will have to learn as a community to deal with the snow removal issues and things like that. They've been dealt with in many other places. We are not charting new territory. The two-way bike lanes work remarkably well in quite a number of places around the world, and I lived in the Netherlands for 4 years with my family, and where we were very familiar with these things, and we loved it because our kids could bicycle in the community, and we could feel perfectly confident and safe having our children do that. 3rd Street is the perfect place for us to start. I guess what I want to say is that the question, I think, for the council is whether we want to make Moscow a bicycle-friendly community or not, whether we want to make that a priority or not. Because if we don't take this opportunity to put in the most bicycle-friendly option available, we're sending a very strong message to the community that we are happy to have everybody just get in their SUVs and drive, because this is the opportunity to do it. And 3rd Street is the perfect place to do it. It's a connection between East City Park and downtown. It's the place that bicycles go already. We can learn a lot from putting this in and using it, and the community, I believe, will respond. I believe we will, after Plan C is implemented, there will be a tremendous demand to expand and put similar lanes on Mountain View that will connect it down to the Leta Trail. I think that the Transportation Commission, which, as Mr. McDonald said, approved it. It approved it unanimously. It was a unanimous vote of the Transportation Commission. It was an overwhelming favorite of the public. It's tremendously less expensive than the alternatives. I think it's virtually a no-brainer if we care about the quality of life in this community and making it a bicycle-friendly community as a part of that. I guess I'm a little baffled at the misgivings that have been relayed here. I attended the Transportation Commission meeting. I think the Transportation Commission was trying to be very sensitive and listen to the concerns that Mr. McDonald has raised, and he's raised quite a number of them, and very respectful of his efforts and his expertise I think that's where most of the misgivings came from, to the extent they were misgivings. But in the end, notwithstanding all of that discussion, the final vote was unanimous, and I think the members of the community have spoken. I have a very difficult time seeing how the council goes anywhere other than with Plan C, and what a great opportunity. This council, I think, needs to be visionary about making this the community we want it to be. And this is a terrific opportunity to do that by embracing Plan C and running with it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, David.
Two Amy's, now I have two Davids in a row. David Hall, 1334 Wallen Road. The motorized bridge was the catalyst for this traffic calming project. And I'd like to hear each council member's justification for such a bridge. Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Mark Solomon, 722 South Jefferson. I also own the property at 704 East 3rd, which I resided at for some 15 years. And I'd like to compliment the council members, the commission, and the city staff for doing an exemplary public process in terms of developing alternatives here. It unfortunately is the classic cart before the horse, in the sense that you are following through on policies that were established some 20 or 30 years ago that were not revisited, creating the need for this accelerated discussion in terms of timing it with a bridge. I would suggest that you need to go back and revisit that, but if that's not on the table for your discussion, I would support the Plan C option. I would also say that the primary reason I do not continue to live at 704 East 3rd is because there's already an incredible amount of traffic on 3rd Street. And it is a safety issue, and it is not one that is going to diminish by creating a through thoroughfare to the east side of the town. It's only going to increase no matter what type of traffic calming measures we put in place. I appreciate, and truly do appreciate, the emphasis that's being placed on allowing for safe bicycle traffic and pedestrian traffic within that motorized corridor. But the question really should be focused on, do we need 3rd Street as a motorized corridor? Or is there an appropriate alternative that looks at how we redevelop this city as one that has an intensively quality core that we can go to and we can take pride in, and that enhances the core values of this city. Instead, by moving traffic through in the safest way as we can, but instead of moving traffic through, that's what we're doing. We're moving things through what should be the vital core of the city. So I would ask you to keep that in mind as you move these considerations forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Good evening, Mayor, Councilman. Susan Wilson, 20208 South Main Street or 2780 North Mountain View Road. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for staying the course on this. This is long overdue. I'm excited. I actually love all the plans because whatever you do is going to be a huge improvement on what is there, including the motor bridge going through. I can't wait to see it. I did have a couple concerns going through some of the plans that maybe you can consider, and I feel almost like I might get stoned up here because I think some of the parking elements and eliminating them I have concerned about. If you ever drive around the school time in the other neighborhoods and the congestion that are there already, even though you have parking on 3rd Street, I'm concerned about how that's going to exacerbate the rest of the neighborhood. I read through the memo. I am concerned a little bit about the maintenance impact on some of those plans. It's going to be additional cost and equipment and labor hours, but at the end of the day, any of the plans are going to be so much better than what is there now that I'm excited to see it all. I really appreciate Les's timeline. I didn't realize before I came here that, hey, we might be able to have this done by the end of the year, and I think that is fabulous. So I encourage you, whatever you do, stay the course. Plan C is a great plan, other than what I consider to be some issues on the parking. The picture that Les put up there, and I don't know what they call it, but the option of having the lanes and then the parked cars and then the separate lanes, I thought, how are they going to do things like snow removal and things like that and blocking the cars in on both sides? So that kind of created a little bit of concern to me, but sounds like that's easily addressed. I think the staff has done a fabulous job of putting these plans together. The amount of input you're able to put into these traffic calming measures has been incredible, and I think you should just take it, make your decision tonight, run with it, and I can't wait to see it at the end of the year when it's done. Thank you.
Thanks, Susan.
My name is Dean Pittenger, 1017 East D Street, Moscow, Idaho. And I really do appreciate the work the committee is, this impressive planning. And my one concern comes back, to the bridge. And somebody has mentioned before, some of the traffic calming measures you put in, if you open it all the way across to Mountain View, are not going to have a lot of impact because the traffic's just going to increase. And I think that's an overriding concern. And that's my my main point. Thank you so much.